How about joining me in a glass of beer?
Beer and tea. That's all I need.
Listen, I want to talk to you about your drinking.
What happened? I mess around?
No, you didn't mess around.
Pass me a brew, I'm 40 out to do. Once I'm drunk, I make a lot of things happen.
Once again, it's down south on down to Backwood. I usually crack a brew when it's time to run.
Hey, motherfuckers! Represent.
For those that can drink, just drink and keep drinking.
Blunt to 6 packs and enjoy the fat track.
Just a little something to break the monotony.
I drink 20 40s, smoke 40 blunts. Instead of 5 mics, I'd rather have 5 brews.
And it's late at night, I catch a buzz getting away.
No shots, drink up and conversate. In the background banging is a funky break. I give it to you raw out the speaker.
But this week, we're coming at you for the Devil's Night backmasking special. What is backmasking, you ask? Well, it's a recording technique in which a sound or message is recorded backwards onto a track. So it's meant to be played forward, but it's recorded backwards. What does that mean? That means you have to play the track backwards to hear that part correctly. You know what I'm saying? What's a good example? There's a lot of examples, a lot more than I thought. And this whole research into it led me into a whole nother topic, which would be a whole nother show. But we'll get into that a little later. I got a lot of clips and a lot of music I'm going to play this week, and I want you to decide, were these artists intentionally putting these messages in, or was it just an accident? Some do it on purpose. Either way, let me know if I'm the wickedest man alive as I bring you backmasking on the Crate Show. So check it out. A lot of people do backmasking. Even, you know, Eminem, Missy Elliott, flip it in reverse now. You know, that's popular backmasking. But backmasking, am I fucking saying it right? I don't know. Backmasking, recording shit backwards, was started by the Beatles in like '66.
Number 9, number 9, number 9, number 9, number 9, number 9, number 9. Bring it on, Lemon. 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 Bring it on.
The Beatles sometimes purposely played instrumentation backwards for, you know, recording effect. It was a new, oh shit, you know, this is innovative. Then there was a controversy saying that on some of the Beatles, when you play it backwards, it says, Paul is dead, Paul is dead. Some shit to that effect, referencing the fact that this Paul McCartney that we know is not the original OG real Paul McCartney. I think it's still on Netflix, a whole documentary about it, but the Beatles, you know, there's a big conspiracy that say that the real Paul McCartney died in this brutal car crash, and he was replaced. Is it true? I don't know. I don't know. Look into it. That's a whole nother fucking episode. But anyway, back to backmasking. So you have artists today using it like that. And it actually is, you know, when you hear the term ish, that came from backmasking the curse shit out of records for radio play. It's just backmasking. You know what I'm saying? That's just them saying shit. But anyways, who else got backmasking? A funny example, the B-52s. If you play a certain B-52 records backwards, they say, oh, I buried my parakeet in the backyard. Be careful, why are you playing this backwards? You're gonna ruin your needle, or something like that. The B-52, it was like, watch out, you're ruining your needle. So that was pretty cool. Another great backmask, Weird Al Yankovic, Satan Eats Cheese Whiz. He's got another one that says something like, damn, you got a lot of free time if you're playing this backwards. But that's on the album. I think the song is I Remember Larry. He says, got a lot of free time if you playing this backwards. Some other shit, Iron Maiden on I think it's the song After the Trooper. There's some crazy shit. It's really their drummer, Nico McBain, I think was his name, doing like an Idi Amin impersonation. If you're too young to know Idi Amin, then, well, that's a whole nother show too. So there's also the Jay Giles Band, who says something about chicken shits and eating chicken salad as a joke in one of his songs. Queen, he says it's fun to smoke marijuana backwards. We're gonna play it, you let me know. Was he saying it? I don't know. Sounds like it. Who else? The Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd actually has a backward message quite intentionally. It says, "Congratulations, you found the message," or something. Ha ha, send the answer to the Funny Farm, who people say was in reference to Syd Barrett and the nervous breakdown and stuff he had. Was it? I don't know. I don't know. In the 80s, Judas Priest, they were connected. There were these two kids, I forget where, we'll play the news story now.
18-year-old Ray Belknap and his 20-year-old friend James Vance were listening to the Judas Priest album, Stained Class.
They put the record on and started listening to it over and over. They smoked some pot, they drank beer, they escaped out the bedroom window with a shotgun and went down to the churchyard nearby to the back park where the merry-go-round was. Ray put the gun under his chin and his last words were, "I sure effed up my life."
They tried to prove that if you played backwards, it would say, I think it was "do it, do it, do it." I mean, it's so stupid.
Probably millions of people listened to Judas Priest then, and these kids were the only ones who got that secret message. So good for them for cracking the code, you know?
Why do you think Raymond committed suicide that day?
I think he was affected by the music he was listening to. Are there subliminal duets on the Better By You, Better Than Me song?
Absolutely not.
Who else used it? Slayer. Slayer says, join us, when you play, I think it's Hell Awaits. You play that shit backwards. They intentionally did that, obviously. Grim Reaper put on their album, See You in Hell, when you play it backwards. Obviously intentional. Roger Waters is actually said to diss Stanley Kubrick, who wouldn't let Roger Waters use a sample from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Supposedly, Roger Waters disses Stanley Kubrick backwards on one of his albums, early 80s, I'm not sure the name. ELO also put in definite intended messages talking about time is reversible, music is reversible, time is not. When you play ELO backwards, several songs on several different albums have messages. This is the song you're hearing forward. That's the regular song, believe it or not. An obvious case of backmasking. Now here's what you hear when you play it backwards.
The music is reversible, but time. Turn back. Turn back. Turn back. Turn back.
Styx, who have some Freemasonry kind of Annuit Queptis Latin message on the Styx album. But the scariest and most fucked up thing that tied this all together for me and led this in was Led Zeppelin. I didn't know this. Like I said, as a youngster, I had heard rumors of the Queen shit and some other shit, Motley Crue, you know, there was King Diamond, Intentional type of shit, Ozzy, everybody said, the Def Leppard. Def Leppard did have some messages, by the way, that they admit to putting on albums. But the scariest shit was the Led Zeppelin connection. And Jimmy Page. If you play Stairway to Heaven back, which we're going to do now, it sounds pretty fucked up and pretty clear to me. So, I don't know. It's kind of crazy and shit. We're gonna play a lot of these clips, and you could decide. We might even do this show, finish it next week, because leading into this, looking up people that had backwards messages, you know, I looked into Ozzy, and as I looked into Ozzy, I had just looked into Led Zeppelin, and the connection with Led Zeppelin in the occult is allegedly Jimmy Page was mad interested in Aleister Crowley. You know Aleister Crowley, the Beast 666. That's a sinister, evil motherfucker, Aleister Crowley. So when researching these songs and looking for groups, the scariest shit I found was Led Zeppelin. So I looked into it a little more and dug through the real estate records of Jimmy Page and found out he bought Aleister Crowley's old mansion, I think in England, I'm not sure, somewhere over in Europe, in that area. Jimmy Page bought Aleister Crowley's mansion and was supposedly into some seriously ill occult type shit, and maybe allegedly made a deal with the devil. I don't know. Did he? What does that have to do with anything? Well, then it got me into thinking about Ozzy. And when I was young, this is my fun flashback of the week story. When I was younger, my moms would be working and she'd come home like 4:35. So, like around that time, I would turn off all the lights and shit in the apartment, and I'd go hide under her bed with a tape recorder, and the tape was Blizzard of Oz, the song Mr. Crowley. And when I heard my mom put the key in the lock in the door and come in, she'd be calling out my name like, hello, and hear a light switch flip on, then she'd get to the bedroom and I would have it playing, and I would slowly turn the volume up and fucking try and scare my mom. I was all corny, 6 years old and shit, but that's what I was doing. Sorry, Mom. I would try to scare her with Mr. Crowley. At the time, I didn't know who the fuck Aleister Crowley was. I was 6 years old. But now, later, when I'm old, I looked into all this shit and, okay, I looked into backward records. I found Led Zeppelin. I found the Stairway to Heaven. I found the link to Jimmy Page. I found the Jimmy Page link to Aleister Crowley. And then I just got into more Aleister Crowley, and wow, that shit is crazy. So that's the link to this week. Looking into all that shit, I got into Aleister Crowley, and I just got lost in his whole Crowleyanity, and it just made me wonder, like, wow, I was promoting all this freakishness at 6 years old. Was something else making me do that? I don't know. Again, you decide. So let's get out of here, and I'll see you next week, Craters. Thanks for all the comments. I got over 60 some. A lot were from me responding to you, but technically it's still more than 50 comments.